Hello, hello, everyone. It is Jeanette the Oracle. Welcome. Come on in. Hope everybody is doing so very well today. I'm super excited because eclipse season is over. However, we are still in Mercury retrograde. We're about halfway through. And so the intention for today's Oracle Talks is actually to get a little bit more guidance and messages around what we talked about last time, which was about, what's next, right? And so we had, excuse me, we had three different scenarios or questions that were being posed, and they were, related to what we kind of need to focus on this time. A lot of folks coming in, say hello, tell us where you're joining from, what you're sipping on, if anything. But yeah, so, that included asking ourselves, what might be on the back burner that we need to kind of circle back around to. What do we have going on now that we might be procrastinating on? What is emerging, in terms of like a new vision for the future. So all of that is definitely showing up. Hello. Hey, we have Jazz Sims in the house, joining from UK with water, about to get some tea. Yay, welcome. Yeah, hope everybody is doing well. So, those were the questions that were posed, and there were definitely guidance and tools given last time around, how to kind of navigate those different scenarios, depending on whichever you resonated with. And so, we're here now. We are out of the specific eclipse season with, that 2-week period of the eclipses. So a lot of the kind of more chaotic, possibly feeling energy should have calmed now. You should be feeling a little bit more stable now, a little bit more grounded. And now we're here. And now we should have hopefully a little bit more clarity, specificity, be grounding into more of like those actions that we're looking to take. More so than we might have been even just a week or two ago. So let me know if that resonates. Let me know in the comments if you definitely feel that, and we will get into it. So I actually got called to pull an oracle card first. So I'm going to actually pull a card from this deck called the Secret Language of Light deck by Denise Jarvie, I believe is how she pronounces her name. So we'll get a card from her first, and I'll read the message, and then we'll see what Spirit has for us. Definitely resonates. Awesome. As a reminder, I am currently accepting new coaching clients. So if you are looking to work with me over the next 3 to 6 months, possibly longer, you can schedule a free discovery call. I have that in the link below, and we can discuss what your goals are, what you're looking to do, the kind of transformation you're trying to have in your life, and see if we'd be a good match. Yeah, I definitely am feeling the motivation and the fire, and I'm really excited in working with that. So I'm opening up my schedule for working with a few folks. So if that is you, if you're feeling called, you want to do a deep dive with me one-on-one for the next couple months, reach out. I'm feeling the energy changes so acutely. Yeah, for sure. Alrighty, welcome to new folks coming in. Please say hello. Let us know where you're joining from, what you might be sipping on. Did y'all miss me last week? I was gonna jump on, but it was just like, no, let the energy settle. So I was obedient. Plus, my body also needed the rest. So, yeah, did y'all miss me? I'm back though. We give thanks. All right. Yes, you were definitely missed. Oh, thank you. Of course, everyone is invited to join Covenant, which is a monthly membership. It's co-facilitated by me, the now Reverend Dr. Portia Williams Gates. Portia actually just got her doctorate, so she's a PhD now. So she's Reverend Dr. Portia, and Atia Bloom. So the three of us co-facilitate that space. Portia already dropped her sermon. Atia just dropped her affirmation audio tracks. So those are available. And then this weekend coming, I'm going to be doing another um, energy healing meditation. I'm not necessarily going to be doing energy healing meditations like every month, but because of all these shifts that are going on, I was called specifically to do that work. So this Saturday, April 20th, I believe, the first day of Taurus, is going to be another session focused on energetically connecting to New Maya, but this is specifically going to be to support our ancestors in being able to do so. And this will be all ancestors that give consent for having that work facilitated on their behalf, whether they're considered, beneficial, neutral, or even malevolent ancestors. Everybody is up for this. So I'm really looking forward to facilitating that. And of course, if you are not able to make it live, or if you decide to join at a later time, depending on when you're watching this video, the recording is going to be there and available, so you can touch base with it at your own time and circle back to it whenever you like. And then we'll have our member session the following week, which will be fun. All right, beautiful card. Interesting energy. So the card that we got is this card of remembrance. Try to get this at angles up. This beautiful imagery. I do really like a lot of the artistry, not all of it, but I like a lot of the artistry in this oracle deck. So this is card number 11. Interesting. I don't remember if I've actually gotten this card. I probably have, like, maybe once, but it's not one I see often. So let's see what the message is, and I'll hold this up. So the tagline for this card of remembrance is recall your soul truth. Okay. You are ready to live your life from the wisdom of your heart. You may have been citing 1111 as a reflection of this. If not, you can expect to receive this. You can expect to be receiving this sign soon. You may see it on a clock, a phone number, a receipt, or in a dream. With this wisdom, fresh and innovative ideas will flow into your mind as new ways to live your life. No one else has to change their ways, only you. I'll say that again. No one else has to change their ways, only you. I think before I said change their life, it's change their ways. So no one else has to change their ways, only you. Live from your heart, be an inspiration, and discover a new world. Some call 1111 an awakening code. You must have awoken on some level to receive it. It is a sign that you are much more than you think you are. 1111 has many different explanations because we are all asking different questions. There is no right or wrong meaning, but at the heart of 1111 is a loving, intelligent energy that will always encourage you towards your soul, where you will remember the truth of you. Wow. This sentence, what is it? Live from your heart, be an inspiration, and discover a new world. That sounds like such an Aries message. Definitely notice 1111 multiple times a day. Love to see it. Yeah, same for me as well. So it's really interesting that came out. I'm getting the phrase like stand on business. Okay, which deck do I want to use? Thought deck. All right, welcome to folks who are coming in. Please say hello. Let us know where you're joining from, what you're sipping on. If y'all could also please like the video. It helps to spread this in the YouTube ecosystem. Algorithm things. Mm. That part about like not being able to control other people's ways, um, but the control that we have is over ourselves is really kind of ringing true right now about reminding us of the importance of embracing our agency, which is what Aries is really about. And obviously, we have Mercury retrograde in Aries still. So we're kind of like rethinking our agency, our power, our drive, our motivation, our passion towards things, our inner fire, essentially. And we've been, grappling with that on some level for a while with the North Node being in Aries in tropical astrology. So yeah, making as we kind of continue this conversation about what's next, and the actions that we are taking to move towards um, the evolving self that we're embodying, the evolving life that we're constructing, the evolving world that we're purposefully trying to influence and co-create. Um, our power within that, where that comes in, and how much of that we actually need to exercise to be proactive about rather than reactive about. Stay getting this five energy, five of cups. Prince of Swords, Moon, and Ten of Swords. And we have the Justice here in the center. So this really seems to be a motivation thing. This actually possibly seems to be about addressing, how to take action or in what ways to take action so that we guard against these feelings of disappointment that have possibly been a shackle before or that maybe have been haunting us. Um, okay, so I've expanded this and we're showing up as the death card. Massive transformation that we're undergoing. Okay, like massive transformation. Um, and the external world, the environment around us is the Four of Cups. So this Five of Cups is some kind of releasing of something to come to a state of um, equilibrium. And I guess it's really just going to be a matter of what that equilibrium is going to be for you. If it's actually going to be something that feels like it's less, or if it will ultimately be more. One second. Let me know in the comments how this resonates or any questions that you have. Let's see. It's funny because as you were talking about 1111, I pulled the lovers and chariot and had the thought that together it equal 13, which is death. Yeah. Wow. Let me get clarification on this Five of Cups. The World card. The Temperance underneath. So yeah, portals and transitions. Um, Interesting. Any more around that? Another major arcana, Wheel of Fortune, and the Three of Swords. So yeah, it's this thing of this seems to be a message about not making the same decisions that you tend to make or that maybe you have been making, because those decisions will set you up for stress. And you need to be mindful of what you are committing yourself to or connecting yourself to. Um, I'm getting more clarification on this Knight of Swords. Yeah, so I'm gonna need some examples for this. Um, so say for instance, you are looking for work right now, right? Um, and maybe the energy that you've been, um, or the perspective, I should say, that you've had with that search has been one of, I just need to find something because I just need money coming in. Instead of really assessing, yourself, your values, what you bring in terms of, skills, etc., as well as um, what you actually need rather than what you settle for, what you could settle for, so that you don't, because the settling for just something rather than what's truly actually needed keeps you in a loop and prevents you from being able to make progress. If this is relationships, it could be a situation where, and I'm speaking about, well, it could be romantic or platonic relationships. Um, but we'll say for romantic relationships, like you are, um, you're in the dating pool or trying to be and trying to find somebody that would be a good partner for you. And the mindset might have been, well, let me just get out there and date just to date because I just need to um, kind of be in the game more and just kind of make do with what's available rather than saying like, okay, well, or actually not even so much that, just being like, these people that I'm considering meet most of the kind of like superficial things that I need, but the stuff that would really come up for long-term partnership um, are actually not there and are not being addressed. But because I'm have been making the decision repeatedly to just be in a relationship just to have it, rather than be honest and accepting of myself that I offer more and I want more, right? Like that's the ability to do that or not can keep us in a state of disappointment or shift us. Is this making sense? This feels really nebulous. When things feel nebulous, it usually means that like there's something really deep there that's like trying to cloak itself and doesn't want to be addressed. So it's like hiding from my perceptive eye. Um, but again, this remembrance card, so it's not even that we don't know or and also it's not even that we haven't had this realization prior, but we might be back in this place again of like, having to choose different. And because we are in this space of transformation, um, we're still in the middle of that transition. We haven't come out the other side because it wasn't the temperance card that came out, it's the death card. So this hasn't actually completed. It's not completed until we get to temperance. So we're in a really um, important time right now of really being intentional about the decisions that we're making and what we are committing to. Complete sense, right? Choosing to do differently has been at the forefront for me this past month. Yeah, yeah. Um, Now it's interesting with the cards that are out. Like this doesn't feel heavy. Um, but again, with this moon, ten of swords, like this energy is just so like if you're not paying attention, you will slip, kind of thing. Um, and really just cause yourself pain because it's not even like a I was about to say it's not a judgment thing, but it is a judgment thing. But it's a are you judging yourself and condemning yourself to something? It's very in alignment. Yeah. Let me think about this Four of Swords. Because Four of Swords is very much, when it talks about us, like in our individual experience, depending on the energy that we're coming to with it, it can be a place of emotional equanimity and peace, um, or it can be a place of apathy. For this being representative of the energy in the external environment, it might be a situation where it seems like nothing is moving out there, like it's really kind of quiet, and that may be bringing up this behavior, this pattern, this thought form of like um, kind of like freaking out because there's no activity or busyness, and we're like, oh, are the choices that I'm making taking me on the right path because I'm used to getting a certain kind of stimuli from the external environment to affirm me. Does that make sense? Welcome to folks coming in. Please say hello. Let us know where you're joining from, what you're sipping on. Again, with this World card. Y'all see this, right? The second time this came out. Now we have the Three of Pentacles on the bottom. This question about what is it that you're running towards is coming up. Like, are you actually, let me just check and see if that is the thing. What are you running to? Yeah, the third time this has come out, World card, the death card underneath. What is being run to? Um, are you running towards that which can't give you what you desire, or are you moving towards this new territory? So I wonder if this Prince of Swords is even supposed to be going in the direction of, like, if the Five of Cups is showing up, is that the indication that in some way, shape, or form we might be tracking to old habits or old patterns, or our perspective needs to be shifted? That was that. I'll go ahead and take it. Don't usually take stuff that does not flip over. So what showed up on the flipped over, and I'll look at the cards that did not flip over, but what flipped up was the Queen of Swords, Ace of Wands, and Seven of Wands. Um, Bottom of the deck right now is King of Pentacles. So yeah, this feels like the answer to that question that I just posed about the Knight of Swords, if it's really a thing of, if we're seeing the Five of Cups show up in a certain area that we're going, it's an indication that there's something in the perception that needs to be shifted, and we need to actually um, adjust or pivot our direction or our approach to something and hold the ground. Seven of Wands. So, like in that case of romantic relationships, you know, being upfront and forthright and really checking for those deeper, longer term things that you know are really non negotiable for you up front, and keeping that up front is going to be the thing, right? So that your negotiation isn't going to be on the things that are vitally important to you, fundamentally important to you. Like, the foundation should never be part of the negotiation. Let me just say that. Foundational things that you really absolutely need, not what you can make do with. So that's different. But really, truly, like what you foundationally need, that stuff should not actually be up for negotiation when you're going in the direction of these new goals and these visions that you have. So any kind of vibe of like, I can make do with that, I can make it work for now. That's the stuff you really got to look at. And it's not that the time, um the length of time something will be in really is the issue. Like, it's not that at all, because if we're talking about romantic relationships, if somebody comes in and they do actually foundationally have those qualities, those values, whatever that line up with you, um, that's great. It might not necessarily last long, depending on circumstances, attraction, all that kind of stuff. But um, the thing is that y'all are foundationally aligned, right? And then anything longer than that is just to see based on the what happens between the two of you. But um, to not even have the foundation is really the thing. When it comes to, work stuff, if you're looking for a job, if you know that, like, okay, at the very least, I need to be making cost of living for where I am in order to live where I am, you know. Now, all this, of course, is easier said than done, but given again the energy that is here and the support that we have astrologically, I don't think this is actually going to be too much of a struggle. I think this is actually just being brought to our attention so that we can be more intentional. Um, let's see, what if we're not looking for anything long term right now? Oh, so this, I mean, that won't, I'm just pulling out examples just to give examples. Um, but whatever, essentially, the core thing is whatever a habit has been that has kept you um, in a particular loop before. Now, that loop might have been successful for where you have been, but again, we're talking about what's next, right? So, whatever it is in whatever area of life that you're trying to work towards, there is something related to that that if you're not paying attention to, you will end up um, essentially self sabotaging and not going as far as you need to go because you're still operating from the same old mindset from before. Is it just a case of ensuring we have the safety security, even though it may be temporary, long term? Yeah, okay, I understand. Yeah. Um, yeah. Yeah. So length of time is irrelevant, but like, even with the job, if it's something that is a short term contract, it's fine, at least as long as like, the rate or the work that he's doing is again meeting foundational needs. If that makes sense. But I think folks have to actually like give me specific examples in their own life because it is just kind of a broad thing. But I understand now. Okay, cool. Anybody else have questions about that, or if they want to know how this might apply to their specific life? I'm definitely down to dive into that a bit more. You can just share in the comments. So the cards that were hidden are these: Five of Swords, Wheel of Fortune, Queen of Cups, Six of Swords, and Ace of Pentacles. So yeah, Five of Swords is usually people don't like this card. I do actually like this card because it's essentially complementary to the Five of Wands. The Five of Swords is the card of looking after yourself and understanding that there are going to be winners and losers in things. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean that this person that's standing there with the swords like actually fought the others. There might have been a fight. It just might have been a situation where, you got an opportunity and someone else didn't. Like obviously, the people who did not get the opportunity that you got, whether that is a particular relationship or a job or have you, they're going to be in their feelings about it. But the whole point of this card is, well, not the whole point. The positive side of this card is you looking out for yourself. It is a self-centered card. The negative side of that is winning at all costs, which include, the cost of your morals, values, ethics. But on the positive side, it is about winning. You do what you got to do to win while staying authentic to yourself. Wheel of Fortune. Lately, this has been reminding me that while often the tendency is to associate this with, blessings coming and all that, which is fine and beautiful. At a really basic foundational level, this is a wheel and it can turn forward, backward. Things can be up one moment and down another. So it's a reminder to not be comfortable and to remember that everything is change. And to be less concerned about the wheel turning in your favor, i.e., like being on the edge of the wheel and instead being in the center. Because as something shifts in, the negative seemingly from one side, necessarily means that something is shifting positively on the other side. Like as this side is going down, this side is coming up, right? So keep that in mind. Queen of Cups, intuition, desires, Six of Swords, objectivity, and being able to move on. So as that wheel of fortune turns and things change as quickly as they do, like just keep it moving and be emotionally grounded and mature, but also like detached. In the Ace of Pentacles, like there's a lot of opportunities. It's a very, especially, bookended by that Five of Swords, it's a very opportunistic vibe here that's hidden. This is actually feeling like, the games from our childhood and, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and probably some of them now too, of like, getting as many gold coins as you can. Not from a place of like, survival, but like if you're kind of like in a bonus round and you being in that round like doesn't actually have necessarily like major impact on you being able to continue the game. It's just kind of like a gift, if you will, for reaching a certain level before you move on to the next. And it's like, let me get as much as I can here. There's an opportunity here. And there's a limited time here. It's kind of that vibe. But it's not as like short term as that. It is a little bit more long term because at the center of the square we do have the Queen of Pentacles, and she is looking long term. So of all the opportunities and possibilities that are there that seem, that are shiny, not everything is for you to be focused on or taking action on, because it may actually be distracting you from something that will set you up really well over time, over the next, several years. Joining late from Houston, I'm happy to be here. No worries, welcome. Oh, look, you came in with all at least over here, it's showing with like lots of twos. So we had the message, the Oracle message, remembrance with part 11, is talking about seeing 1111 or, essentially multiples of 11 around. So welcome. All right, so let me know if that's making sense, and if folks have questions about their specific life or area of life that they want to see how this might be applying to, or if they have difficulty understanding. But I guess just to recap, this Five of Cups is showing up. So this is the action we're taking, the Knight of Swords. We're going on our path, continuing on our path of embarking upon what's next, or whatever it is that we're working on. Some people that came through from the last Worker Talks. And if this Five of Cups starts to show up, that means that there's something in our perspective and subsequently the actions aligned with that perspective that need to shift, because it's indicating that it's actually tied to old patterns of behavior that are going to lock us in, i.e. we'll judge ourselves into what was there before, and we won't actually be able to complete this process of transformation and come out the other side. And make no mistake, this will take time. Nothing with the Queen of Earth here. This isn't a fast process. Like, we are actually going to have to be diligent with this. Because in the environment with this Five of Cups, excuse me, with the Four of Cups, um, there's nothing for us there if we go down this path. Right? There's nothing there with the Four of Cups. We need to be moving to the Six of Cups energy, which is mutually beneficial, which means that fundamentally we should not be we should not be negotiating that which is foundational for us. Right? So the core, the foundational aspects of both parties should be balanced and equal so that this is not up for negotiation. We're looking at what can be created up here. But if this is already shaky, i.e., you're looking for someone or something to connect to that's, again, foundationally not even going to be able to meet your needs before you even get into discussion about wants, just your needs, then you are, condemning yourself. You are judging yourself harshly in choosing to commit to something that will keep you stuck. Yeah? Questions? Questions. I think that may actually be it, y'all. This feels pretty straightforward. Again, not easy, but straightforward. Doesn't feel heavy either. Like I said, like it doesn't feel like it's heavy lifting. It's just one of those things of like, you might just need to have this reminder, like, don't debase yourself, right? Like, don't debase yourself. Debase, the etymology of that word. D means take away, base, solid foundation, for, right? Don't debase yourself in the pursuit of the things that you're pursuing. So whether that is circling back to something that was on the back burner that you're coming back to, right? If it's something that you're working on now currently that you might have been procrastinating on, or if it's something that is emerging, whatever area of life is showing up, that's the thing. Look forward to watching another time. I'm sure it's fun. Watching replay and short time. Thank you. Good. All right. So any questions? So I think that really is it. I'll keep posing guidance for this, but if since that was so short, if folks just want me to check in with Spirit on anything or questions that they have, I will do that. Otherwise, we'll call it a day. And then, of course, social donations are accepted. I have my PayPal there at the screen and as well as in the description box below. You're not required to donate to ask a question, but the info is there if you would like to. All right, so closing messages. We are not getting out of this 5 energy. We're going to be here for a second, apparently. Queen of Swords, 5 of Pentacles, 5 of Cups with the Empress on the bottom of the deck. Queen of Swords, we must see our situation, our choices, our actions from a higher perspective. We must be mindful of what we are doing and what we are potentially saying yes to, what conditions or environments we're creating for ourselves that will imprison us, rather than cultivate us. Like, do you know the difference between imprisonment and cultivation? Because imprisonment feels safe because it's what we know. Cultivation actually exposes us to the elements. It exposes us to risk. It exposes us to conflict. It exposes us to attack. It's a very interesting message. Not at all what I was expecting to come through. Tell it right. I want to get more information about this Five of Pentacles. And then I'm going to get more information from that Queen of Swords. So for that Five of Pentacles, Six of Cups, and Five of Pentacles with the Star card, yeah, it's that what I keep saying, what is comfortable, what we've done in the past, even if what we've done in the past, gave us a modicum of stability or even potentially success, are we moving towards that which is going to imprison us again in subtle ways? Because again, none of this seems like really overt. It seems really like quiet and cloudy, like I mentioned before. Or are we moving towards our actual dreams? More from the Queen of Swords. I'm hearing you don't have to be everything to everybody, so that's for somebody. Eight of Swords, Two of Cups with the Emperor. This is to clarify that Queen of Swords or provide additional information. Yeah, Eight of Swords, perception, ways that we imprison ourselves, trap ourselves, versus listening to our inner wisdom. But our inner wisdom that really is trying to help us build the Emperor experience. This is the big four. This is about establishing those things that you want so that, the relationship that you actually want, the job that you actually want, the health that you actually want. Okay. And lastly, from the Empress, Hangman, Ten of Cups, all the Pisces, Hangman and Ten of Cups. Interesting. The Hangman is actually a three. It's a 12, but it breaks down to a three. Oh, I wonder if things are actually just are going to be on pause until this perspective shift happens. Yeah, pretty much. Um, I feel it almost feels a little harsh, but it's very kind of well, not even kind of. It's no nonsense. Like there's not going to be forward progress made in whatever area that you're working on or areas. It's several. There will not be progress made. The hangman is putting things on pause. It is sustaining things or suspending things rather where they are until this perspective shift, literally the hangman, until this perspective shift, which necessarily means actions taken following that um, changes. That things will not move forward. And it will take as long as it takes. Yeah, okay. Comments on that, questions on that. Is the reason why they won't? Is it out of a lesson of some sort or just something energetically? It feels like the transformation actually won't be able to complete until that happens. But let me see. Five of Pentacles and Fool card with King of Cups. Um, it basically feels like there's nowhere else to go, or rather, there's no other path left to take. Like we actually, whatever the context is, have to go in the direction of the Fool. And the Fool is literally at the edge of the cliff. It's going into unknown territory. Um, in the past, last eclipse season, I asked you about a cycle of this type of energy, and you guys was around my level of commitment resolved. I fifty, but I'm still sensing it. And the question is it still there, or is it just my fear that it's the same type of circumstance? I'll get that one second. Yeah, this really feels like we have to be willing to go after what it is that we need and we want, um, regardless of whether or not others can come along, or um, regardless of whether or not it's um, very different from how we have been or shown up or how people know us as. Hmm, very interesting energy. Um, let me let me ask one more question, then I'm going to get to yours because it might actually answer the question. So I want to ask, if we know what it is, but we just keep missing it, or if we're still in that place of um, remembrance. Okay, so we know what it is, but we keep missing it. So then, how do we? That might be why all of this was feeling like so kind of nebulous earlier. It's like, because the message is clear, but it's also just like I can feel that like something is hiding because it does not want to be exposed. Like, right? I was talking about that in the beginning. I'm like, there's something here. And, it's a part of the mind. It's like something that is like resistance to this full self transformation. And it's not big. It really is a perspective shift thing. It's a remembrance thing. Like once the insight is there, it's just like, oh, okay, right. But just the many ways that our mind or ego squirrels away from us, our spirit, our soul, because it's stuck in its ways. So you have to be hone in on it. I don't like that Wizard of Oz energy, like a little player that's behind the veil. You just gotta find Oz. Okay. Hangman at the bottom. I was also just getting before those cards came out that this might actually take a little while because it's just supposed to. Um, Meaning it might actually take for this season until we get into the spring season until we get into summer actually. So the cards we got are Queen of Wands, Queen of Pentacles, Death card again, Universe, a World card, and then the Ace of Swords. So essentially, we close in on it by um, continuing to strengthen and amplify the connection with our own soul and spirit. One, two, continuing to remind ourselves of the vision that we're creating and getting more specific now about those middle steps to really start fleshing out what's going to be required physically to create that. So it's basically like a top down and a bottom up approach at the same time. Um, Now with these major arcana, it does also. Okay, thank you for the reminder. So this message is for everybody. So the pause is also because of um, these bigger shifts and changes that are happening. And so we are all having to choose, right? We're all having to make certain decisions that line up with what we say we want. Um, so for our part individually, from the inside looking out, we just want to make sure that we're doing that top down and bottom up work. Um, as best as possible and know and assume that everyone else is doing that too. And depending on, the actions people take, because free will is a thing, um, certain things are either going to solidify or not, or get shifted around. But it's massive transformation that's happening for all. It just feels like a lot of arranging that's going on. But the clarity will come. So it could be as soon clarity, I mean, coming as soon as the next few weeks or over the next few months. I'm not feeling it would take longer than past summer season, just with the energy here. Like it feels like summer is actually like a cutoff point. Like June specifically, I'm not necessarily getting the solstice, but I don't remember what's happening in June. Things feel more solid then. What's going on? Well, I mean, we'll be in a lot of Gemini energy. So maybe that those connections will start popping up, but I'll look a little deeper into that. Nothing's really specifically popping out, but um, Yeah, but it will come. But it will you'll facilitate it by, or we will facilitate it by the top down and bottom up approach. Let me get to the actual question that was asked, so I can actually do that. Answer the question. It's not feeling early June. It feels like late June. But again, I'll look at the astrology. There's probably something. It might not necessarily be a specific transit, and more so like where we are in like the cycles of all of the planets in their respective cycles and relationships. But I'll see. Okay, so in the past, you're still sensing it. Okay, so for hopefully Tamil, you're still here. For that succubus energy, because I don't be remembering things. Was that succubus energy an energy that you had, or that was something that you felt being projected towards you? Because this message is about our individual stuff, so the inside out rather than stuff from the outside in. This is about what we are, our perception and actions that we take. So let me know. Maybe that actually is the answer to the question, but let me know. That's my battery doing. Nice. Feels like something I let in because of my perception behaviors. Has your team said that something is there, or are you at that point where you don't trust your ability to receive a clear answer? I'm checking in on something else about this holding message for all of us. Actually, I want to use a different bit. So this is a closer function, but I can't think of another word, and that's kind of like the line from before, and now it's not as clear. Yeah, but what does your team say? Team says attached. Okay, so that's an outside in energy, so it's not an inside out. Um, so that's not yeah. Um, okay, so I guess it's the confirmation then. It's attached. So I guess it's a matter of if you are able to clear it then. And my battery is dropping down, so let's drop off. Um, yeah, so there's just massive changes happening, and the process will be complete by the time we get to summer season for this section of us. So if you are feeling that sense of like things are kind of in a holding pattern, like do not allow old habits and behaviors to move you out of the actions and the perceptions that you need to stay on track with. Like you've got to stay on track with that. Um, don't debase yourself, right? Debase yourself. Do not do that. And hold on until the clarity comes. As long as you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, like it's fine, and let this shift happen as it needs um, to shift while the universe does what it needs to do. Okay, that makes sense. I couldn't tell if it was a mindset thing or something else. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna go before my laptop dies. But hopefully this was helpful. I definitely will be sitting with this a little bit more. But yeah, let me bounce off because I'm getting alerts about my battery. But comment below if there's anything else that pops up for folks, and we'll see what comes through on the next Oracle Talks about this, if anything. All right, love you much. Bye.